Hello everyone, welcome back to Bonsai Expression. I'm Christoph. So today we're going to be working on my Sumi Nagashi Japanese Maple. So as you can see, she's quite a decent size. If I just take a quick step back, you can see the size of her, and she's got quite a long whip just growing off the top of her here. Now, what are we going to be doing, you're asking? I'll just move this to one side. Well, she's just, if I just get you in here, I just put it there, she's just starting to push them buds. They're just swelling and about to break. So we're going to get her out of this soil that she's been growing in for the last few years, and we're going to get her in some bonsai soil. I'm going to get her in a somewhat of a half decent pot. Not too sure which pot we're going to be going for yet. Maybe something just a little bit bigger and maybe a bit flatter. Probably not a proper bonsai pot, but definitely some sort of training pot. And we're just going to neaten her up, get her trimmed into some sort of shape, and just get her set on her way for the future. Now, she's a grafted tree. As you can see the graft just here, but it is a very tidy graft. So we're going to get her some work on today, and yeah, I've worked on her previously, as you can see, and I just started neatening it up in. I'm sorry, the actual branches of the tree stopped the camera. So as I was saying, if I can get you in here without touching the camera again with the branch, I had a dead branch just. Let's get in here. Just in here, I started digging it out, and I've just cut around where it was, just so I can help it start rolling over. As you can see, it's got like a little hole in there now. So I've just started cutting out there, and that will now start rolling over properly and start healing. Yeah, got to watch what I'm doing with these branches. I just hit the stop button. So, previous chops, as I was saying, just here. So we want to try and neaten that up again today. Hopefully we'll cut around this and try and get it to roll over as well. But on the whole, she's got a nice little shape coming along to her. As I say, we'll get in there, move on some of the branches we don't need, have a look at this roots and get her into some sort of decent pot. And yeah, let's get her on the bench and see what we can do with her. I'm covered in crap already. So this maple is a decent sized tree. First thing I want to do is I'll give you some sort of quick spin. Now it's quite decent from all angles, and I'm not entirely sure what my front is going to be on it. I think I always seen it possibly, from my viewing point, probably would be somewhat, let's see, which one was it? From my viewing point, I think it was probably here, so it would be somewhat there for you. So this was growing in the wrong place. It grows out this way. But you've also got, so if that was my viewing point, you've also got possible one there, so that would be for you. And we remove this one, and then yeah, there's a multiple views that we could have. Well, first things first, I'm going to take it out of this pot, rake away this topsoil, and just have a look at the top part of the roots, and then it will give me some sort of idea of an actual front. And then we can actually start having a look at the top part and building a structure on that as well. So yeah, let's have a look at it, get into it. And as usual, rake away from the actual trunk radially. So I've had this tree for, I don't know, 3 years I think, something like that. And all I've done to it is just a few, as you can see, a few cuts, just try and shape it. I've just let it grow. As you can see, it's got a nice big width towards the top, trying to thicken it up. I've not changed the soil or anything like that, I've just fertilised it. And just basically just tried developing the top part of it and let it grow. But I want to get it in some nice soil now. Try and have a look at these roots. I mean, it looks like I've got some nice feeder roots on the go. But I'm just hoping, I'm praying I don't have any nasty horrible roots down here. The soil itself looks like it's a decent soil, which is always a bonus, I guess. And the graft itself is one of the reasons I've picked the tree. It's not too horrendous. I've got a slight bulge in here, but nothing too drastic. These grafted trees, when you do get them, you know, some of them are really, really bad. So at least, you know, the option is when you pick them, you've got plenty of options out there, especially the more visible ones. Some of them are well under the soil line, you can't see them. It's only when you dig down deep that you realise that you've got a dud of a tree. But this one is well above the soil line, so I could see what I was getting myself into before I even purchased the tree. So far so good with the roots. We've got some nice ones. Doesn't look like I've got too major crossing roots or anything like that so far. So far so good. I say that, but you know what mine looks like? I'll end up with some nasty, gnarly roots in the middle. I'll continue to dig into this, and then I'll come back once I've got most of the way through it. Try and keep a relatively short video. We don't want to be going on too long than we have to. So I'll come back in a minute. I've finished raking all the roots out, and I'm pleasantly surprised. I've got rid of all that horrible mud, and I've actually washed them all out as well. So you can see we've got quite a nice big root here. I've got one that's quite high up here. I've got a couple of nice roots here. If I just spin it around, I've got this one that goes all the way that wraps it around. So I will be removing this one, and then I've got this lovely nice root mass just down here. And if I just come round and I just show you, bring it in a bit more, so it goes down, and then I've got all of it lower down here. So yeah, first things first is I'll come in and I'll lop this one off. It just curls down too much, so let's put on there so we can see what we're doing. In fact, I just need to angle you up a little bit better, just there. So I'm going to come in, I'm going to take this one, take that off, and then let's neat that one up as best we can. Take that off as well. Can I get in and neat it up a little bit more? Gonna come in, just take this one off as well on the side. A little bit too high up, I think, for what I want. So I've got all my roots just coming from here now, and then this one, I probably could have left that if I'm honest with you, but there you go, we've removed it now. So just in here we're going to clean out. I don't want those in there. Don't want anything from the inside, so I'm just going to try and snip what I can with my loppers. Take out. Get a pair of scissors on that. Try and get in there. So I think I'll just come in and just give this all a cut back a little bit, just a bit long. It's a bit better to start with. Right, just on the inside, just here, I've got one growing on the inside I'm going to remove as well. Clears that up. I've also got another one just here I want to be taken out. So if I come from the inside underneath, take all that out. Okay. And now it gives me access, if I can open that up for you, to clean that little section a little bit better. So I'm going to come in with my knob cutters and I'm going to clean that up. See what we're doing. Right, so all these roots are long and leggy, but I don't want to be going around taking too much off, because I don't want the tree to die. I obviously want to be able to keep the tree alive. In an ideal situation, I'd want to develop my root system just around here, and I'd want to cut this off here. Just here, I think. It's not the greatest of roots looking at it. Oh, I did say my luck, didn't I? We've got plenty of roots still there, as you can see. Let's zoom you out that a little bit more. Come on, there we go. Just there. Right, so tree comes down, and this part here, as I would say, is part of the tap root. So I would like to remove that and get some roots round here where these two are. That's where I would like my root plane, but alas, I can't, because all my root system is down here and this is my lowest point. So what do? When I'm going to pot it up, I'm going to try and encourage growth here by placing some rooting hormone that I have, and I'm going to just pack a little bit of sphagnum moss here as well, just to try and increase and encourage some more root growth. So, but other than that, I think that is all I'm going to do in terms of roots. I'm just going to leave that section. All just any inside roots, just going to take off. But that's it for roots. Not going to take any more off. I think we're done. That's it. Everything else is nice and neat. Got a nice neat root base for now. So let's get it in a pot and then we'll start working on the top. Just put it in this terracotta pot, and I've put it in my bonsai soil mix. A bit of a nice little spray around the roots, keep it moist, and then it's also just give it a nice little spray around the bottom. So now once I've put the hormone around, it should stick to it as well. Now it's tied in, but it's not too tight, so it's not restricting them roots at all. And we can just put this rooting hormone all the way around. see if we can encourage some more root development down this bottom area. So we'll do this around the tree. That's on. And I'm also gonna just pack this area as well with some sphagnum moss. So get my spray bottle. Let's keep that in there. And now I'll backfill it with all my proper soil. Make sure we're filling right under the tree where we've got them big gaps of them roots. There we go, fill those air pockets. And you still see all that soil still filling in that air pocket. And you can just see how much is still falling in. And as all this is falling in, it's obviously the tree's getting more and more secure in this pot. Still got an air pocket towards the back here. I just need to fill in. There we go, the tree's nice and secure. So I'll just finish with my last layer of soil. Hopefully all right. Okay. And we'll double check everything's in place. Right, I'll give that a quick water in, and then we'll start working on the top. So you can see the top of the sphagnum moss now, just there where it's poking out the soil. So hopefully we just get some roots towards the bottom, around where we want it, and yeah, fingers crossed. The root system starts developing now nicely. Now I have noticed while I've been working on this and the sun's been out, the buds have actually started breaking properly. So let me show you. If I just put my hand around so it focuses, but look at these buds. They've started breaking while we're working on the tree. How cool. So yep, now is the time. As I say, perfect timing for this tree to be worked on today. So first things first is what we need to do. As you can see how tall this tree has actually gotten. I want to be reducing it all the way back. So I'm definitely not going to be using this long branch. So I'm just going to take it right back just so it's out of the eye line. It's moved out of the way. So I'm going to try and do this all handheld. And the sun's come out, so it's lovely now. So let's go around the tree and start taking out any branches in little bits like this. We know we're not going to be wanting, so in all the little crooks and crevices that are definitely not going to be used. So this one here as well, if we leave it, it's going to eventually cause swelling, so definitely not going to be using that one. This little one here is growing upwards, not going to be using that one. This one that's also attached to it is just too close to the current one, And then, as I say, this one that's breaking is just far too long, so I'm just going to cut it back. Now, unfortunately, I did knock the bud off here, so I'm just going to cut it back to this one just for the time being. And then this one's growing inwards. I'm just going to snip back. Yeah, that's where. And this one's also in the inside of that one. We can neaten this section up. I know this is sort of haphazardly going around the tree, but I can just see what I need to clean up straight away. I can just get rid of those bits, and then I can go around the tree properly and neaten up what I know I need to neaten up. So this one here is on the inside. I need to remove it. On the same section here, that dead bit we can clean up. This long section, I'm just going to bring it back to a pair of buds. Same with this one. Where we just done that, the branch next to it, you can see it comes right across, also crosses through another branch, so I'm going to take that off completely, just there. And again, the branch itself is really long, so long in fact, in my eyeline you can see all my work stuff and my drink keeping me going, so I'm just going to bring that back, just there, for the time being. Okay, now let's neaten this tree up a little bit. I need to now sort of make a judgment call on where I think the front should be. So that great big wound there, we should really hide. So that shouldn't be the front, although it does make a nice front if we look at it, just like that. So that does make a nice front. So, but we could also have that as a front, like so. And we could remove this section, this long branch poke as an eye poker, which would mean this branch sort of grows from the middle and grows across. Or we could just remove it completely. That could be the front, I suppose. Somewhere there. Although these could potentially be used as back branches if we did have the other side as the front. Just there. So I'm thinking that is probably going to be the best. I know we've got the scars, but or somewhat there. Possibly that as the front. I hope you can see with the sun. I think I'm going to go there as the front. Somewhat. Let's see. Move it around there maybe. We go there. We're going to go there. We're going to stick with that as the front. We're going to use that as a front, which means we're going to take this off. I'll take that one off completely, and I'm going to bring this one back to here. So this is our front. That means we make a decision, do we want this lower branch or do we want this branch here? Let's take the lower off. And then we need to shorten these just like that. So this is our side branch. I'm going to start developing. That means this one is going to be our back branch, and it also, if you can see from the other side, it splits into two. So you know where it is. I'm just going to spin it round so you can see it properly, which means we've got a long whip. I'm going to reduce to here, so we've got it meeting, so it goes into two on either side, as you can see there. Got the buds on both, and I don't need this one underneath it. We'll get rid of that as well. Also got another back branch, couple of back branches there. We have a previous cut just here, and then obviously I've had two branches grow from it. So we need to spin it round. We need to make a decision that which one of these do we keep. Probably this one, because I've already got a branch going to the side, and this could potentially be what we call a parallel branch or a ladder branch. So we're just going to spin it round and have a look, make sure that's the correct decision. So let's line us up. So we definitely need to remove this side. There we go. And we could use it as another back branch, I suppose. But is it going to cause us swelling in the future? That's going to be the question. So let's spin it back round and have a look at it properly. So if we kept it, even though it's split just here, I hope you can see with the shadows, even though it's split and we've got the old branch there that's dying off, I'm going to try and dig that out a little bit so we can obviously try and get that to heal. So if it does heal, it'll heal around here. That could potentially cause swelling. So I'm going to bite the bullet. I'm going to cut this one off. I think it was this one. Let me double check. But it does leave it. No, I'm gonna leave it for the time being, because even if it will eventually cause swelling, for now it'll help to close that gap, and it'll help fill in that section. So let's just go back to this batten branch. I'm going to bring it back down. Yeah, so I'm going to clean this up. I'm going to leave both the branches. Both these branches will help heal this, and then if it does that, so I'll get rid of this one. That's the answer. That is the answer. So back round to the front so I can see what I'm doing. So we've got this section now. This branch is too heavy. I don't want it. I think this is going to be my leader, and then it splits off. I think I'll probably carry on with this as my leader, I think. So it comes up, slight turn. I could even cut it here. I could potentially use that as a leader, but it is too long and too straight. So I wouldn't want to cut that because it's just too long, too straight. I need to get rid of it. This section is, or at least I feel is, too long and too straight as well. Ideally, probably want to cut this, which I could do in the future, and then I could develop that, I suppose, as a leader, which would make my choice about this section. So we'll see in the future. But this has got to go. So, goodbye. Thanks for being a part of it, I suppose. Let's clean that section up. So, that chop just highlights how long and straight that is. Oh man, what have I done? This branch has definitely got to stay now. If anything, we've got to hopefully develop more shoots down here, just over this side. Okay. Oh, that looks worse. It always looks worse before it looks better. Destruction leads to creation, as they say. The side branch, cut it back. This one's got to go. It's just in the wrong place. I'm gonna cut back, sod it. I'm cutting that off. I'm also cutting that off. And that one's going. Right, hear me out. The idea is that is my leader, even though that is higher and yes. So the idea is potential leader hopefully breaks buds, produces buds. That is also just in case. So we've got potential 2. This is where I'm going with it. Hopefully they'll force buds backwards. As I was saying, this section is too long. So I've cut it all right back, and then we can hopefully develop and see what comes of it. If something nice comes around here, I can reduce further back, cut it, and yeah, or even have this develop as my leader. I'm not too sure yet. Or do I just do the big chop and just go get rid of that and just... Oh, the decisions. Peter Chan uses what's called a bag trick. So he puts a bag over the top of a section of your tree. Now I haven't got a bag unfortunately, but I do have my screen mesh, and it's black, so it sort of disguises when you put over. So I'm going to put over this section here, and it sort of like blacks it out a little bit. So if you can imagine the tree, I'll just move it over without that section, and then that comes up. I'm gonna do it. I'm just gonna cut it off. We're gonna do it. There's no going back. I'm gonna need a bigger loppers. Ugh. I'm gonna need 2 hands for this. You're gonna have to go on the tripod to watch. Are you ready for this big cut and me struggle? There we go. It's done. So this is going to be my new leader, and hopefully back buds as well. Oh, what have I done? What have I done? It wasn't supposed to go this far. A little trim, Christoph. Simple repot. Oh, how wrong I was. Yeah. So you can see how long this is. This is going to bud back. And if anything, I think now we've created a tree with many possibilities for a front. We've left ourselves open. So I think maybe a bit of wire on that, just to, let me angle you guys up, just to get in the right position. There we go. Okay, so that's set. The wire, the gauge of the wire is pretty thick, so it doesn't need to be too tight to the tree itself. But yeah, all good, all set in motion. I'll pop that back in the greenhouse, and it should start budding out. As I say, it's perfect time. Another couple of weeks, and that'll be in full leaf. So I'm gonna pop my little sign in, so I don't forget what maple we're working on. So that's the Sumi Nagashi Japanese Maple all worked on today. The big cut that I said we was going to work on and open it up and clean it up, I think I'll work on that in mid-spring to early summer. Once that sap is all moving, it's going to be a lot easier for it to start healing and rolling over again. Yeah, if I start working on it now, it'll take a little bit longer. I mean, I started working on the other section, and yeah, I didn't really think about it, to be honest. Once you start working on something, you just start working and you get lost in transition. So yeah, early spring we'll start working on that, and it'll roll over a lot faster. Anyway, so I'll show you her again. She's all set up. I put a little paste on the top just to keep it, just to let it heal over a little bit better as the sap is starting to work. As I say, she's starting to bud out now, so the sap is starting to flow, but she's not at the optimum flow rate for all the big cuts to heal over now properly. So a little bit of help where we can, and it'll get there. So as I'm saying, that big cut for the top, we've reduced it nicely down. We've pulled everything in nice and tight, so all them buds can now start pushing out, and then hopefully as they start pushing and the sap moves, it'll help open up any dormant buds further back, pulling it in nice and tight, and then we can start obviously working on development later on in the in late spring, early summer. And then now as them buds are pushing, them roots are all going to start opening up, and they're going to start growing as well. So hopefully with the hormone we've put down, the trimming back we've done, and then the new sphagnum moss, them roots can start pushing out. But also hopefully, even though we've not done any ring barking or any cut, we can start developing some more roots up top, and we can get a nicer, more flared root system where we actually want it to be, and not them long, well, the non-ideal roots that we want. So although the top part is starting to be nice as well, I would like them roots to be nice also. Anyways, if you like this video, please do give me a thumbs up. Please leave a comment and let me know what you think about this tree that's been worked on quite heavily today. Let me know if you like it and if you think it's going to be a good one going forward. And don't forget to subscribe as well, please, guys. Helps the channel going forward, so does liking and commenting. And yeah, I'll see you next week as usual. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good day.